Alright, so to take the sticker off, it's going to be easier to come off if it's hot, so at least up to 100 degrees. So we're going to turn off the extruder. We don't want to heat that up again. Then we'll get this, put this on 100. Oops. It does start. It's 30 degrees now. See, so that's the added temperature. Let this heat up, and then we'll be able to pull this out. I'm going to use gloves this time. 100 degrees is boiling, so you don't want to get your skin on that. So we'll see how it comes up. I forget how well it came off the last time I took this off, so we'll see what happens. I could go back and watch that video, but this is more exciting. All right, we're up to our 100 degrees C. That's enough. I'm going to use these leather gloves, and I'm just going to use one glove for now. I'll see if I can pry up this corner with this spatula. That's hot even through the gloves. So, okay. Maybe I should go back and watch that video. I'm going to start on the corner. You know, I'm going to use my thinner spatula. This is one of the spatulas that came with the NX. The Guider 2 doesn't have these. These are handy for a few things. I've shown this in other videos. This is the set that I bought. There's two of these. One, this was essential for getting stuff off the sticker, and the other one is for getting it off the PEI. So I never use this on the PEI surface because it'll scratch it. So, yes, this goes right under it. No problems. I probably did use this last time. Now, I just thought something. Even if there's a little bit of residual glue, we're going to be putting a magnetic sticker on this, so I better put my glove back on. That would be smart. It's not going to make that much difference if it's even. If it doesn't, it's not lumpy, then it isn't going to matter. So it's coming out pretty cleanly. So a little bit of glue stuck right here. Probably can get that off. Most of it's sticking to the sticker, which if you watched my other sticker video, we're getting the sticker off this removable plate. The glue would stick to the steel, and it would be impossible to get off without acetone. So, what a mess. That's why I was so glad when I learned about the PEI. Now, some of you probably don't know all about PEI. It's been around a long time, so I just never heard of it before. So, always learning something new. That's one of the exciting things about 3D printing. It's always something new to learn. So, let me put my other glove on. This has been hot now, but nobody's gonna get my hands sticky, I guess. So I'll put another glove on. There. Okay. This is coming off nice and clean. I will go back and watch the old video, see if it was this easy. I don't remember if I'm pretty sure I heated it last time. That's the smart thing to do anyway. Alright. Okay, that's all the way off. There's a little bit of glue stuck in this corner where we started. But I found sometimes you can use the sticker itself to kind of lift that glue right off of there. Because the glue wants to stick to itself. So, yeah, so that came right off. The rest of this looks good. I could clean with alcohol, but it looks... I don't see any other glue on here, so I'm not going to bother. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let this cool off. So we'll turn off our heater here. This way. We'll turn off our heater, and then we'll go back to the... We're going to get this back on... Well, we're printing those tokens at 210, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And 50 degrees bed temperature. So while this is cooling off, I wasn't showing that. Okay, sorry. So I'll show that in a second. So we're heating the extruder to 210 and 50 degrees for those tokens. So I'll just leave it set like that because we're not done yet. Once we install the PEI bed on here, we need to calibrate the printer because we installed a new nozzle and a new print surface. So I need to recalibrate. I'll show you how to do that. I've shown it before, but I'll show it again now. It's been a while So we'll check that out. So we're gonna let this cool down. We'll go back to our status, and we'll check the platform temperature. And I'm gonna get my little portable fan and blow it across the surface here. And that'll cool it down a lot faster. All right, so the platform is 42 degrees. That's just nicely warm. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our sticker on. This is the sticker. Well, I already showed this when I installed the PI on the other system. I'm just going to show it again. And so this has a sticky back on it. You got to peel off this covering. And the trick is you want to start on one side and then slowly peel it back so that you don't peel it all at once. So maybe we'll get that set up. So a little wider view, make it a little easier to see. So we peel this back so that one edge is exposed and fold it over. Then the glass is right here. Actually, this is the heating plate underneath it. So I'm going to kind of center this. We're going to check the other side before we start it. Front and back. And yeah, that'll work. So we'll just lay it down. So we're putting it along the white, the heating, is that right? Or a little bit farther over? I can feel the edge of the glass. We're going to put it right on the edge of the glass, right like that. And then kind of center it from back to front. And then push it down. I want it to be square. It doesn't really be, absolutely perfect, but we'll put this edge down, then we'll peel this side off, or peel this edge, this side up, and we'll try to slowly peel the folded over backing, which we didn't fold over all the way in the middle, somehow. How did that happen? Yeah, I forgot to fold it all the way over, so we'll have to get it up somehow. Let's see. I'm going to break this way. This is what you don't want to do. Peel this up off of the sticker with our spatula. There. Okay, that's working. Alright, there we go. Let's get this off. I didn't fold over the edge exactly all the way, which is my bad. So we want to keep this square as we slowly come out. And let's keep peeling this back. Don't want any bubbles, that's the main thing. One of the main things. Don't be in a hurry, that's the other thing. This is going down okay, so the little mistake I made there didn't hurt me. Now I'm back to the full width of the backing. No, I'm not going to full width of the backing. Some of that got stuck under there. I have to unpeel this, which is not a good plan. So I kind of messed up again there. There. Forgot to get this edge. Okay. Now we can put it back down. It should be fine. It's still square, which is important. I want to make sure we're getting that nice little piece there. Yeah, so now we got the full width of the backing up away from the glass. We'll keep going and pressing. There's a little bubble right there. Let's get that bubble out. Alright. No bubbles allowed. We don't want any bubbles. You can tell with your hand if there's any bubbles. Just there's a little one there. Let's press it out. Now this is not working out so great, so I'll just keep working on it and be back inside. So I'm being more careful and going all the way across, back and forth a couple times before I peel off more of the backing. Make sure there's no air bubbles. This is only going on once, we're not taking it off, so take some extra time and get it on right, and you'll be happier in the long run. Alright, that looks good. So I'm using my hand to feel for any bubbles. I don't see any, so I'll feel any rather. Alright, so that's that. Now we'll try our PEI plate. This is a brand new PEI plate, so it's super flat and it'll stick super well. If you watched my other videos, eventually when you start flexing this, these corners will pop up a little bit. And so on the other printer, the other PEI bit, I'm using these 2-inch binder clips. I think they're 2 inches. The opening, maybe 1.5 inches. To hold down these edges. So I'm just going to do that from the start on this one. So this doesn't get in the way of the print area, because the print area is inside of these little holes here. I'm not sure why these holes are here. It does help you line up the surface here, so it's okay. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and heat our print bed up to our operating temperature. Oops, start, okay. Alright, so we need to heat the heat bed, the print bed, and the extruder, because they act together as a team to set the zero level of the bed. Alright, so we're going to do the leveling in a second, but we need to have a way to hang the reels on the back. So if you look at this one we have here, this is the one I printed. I have a video about making this one. So I always have a backup for things. So this is my backup of this, because one time I broke this. It was actually the one on the NX, but then I couldn't print anything. So to put this bracket in, you got to put it in from the inside, out the slot. Then this goes like that. And if you come around the back, this just slots in here. So the idea with this system is you just you use this. This is the same on all printers, and you just make a separate bracket for where it can hang on your printer. So in the garage here, the way this is set up, you have easy accesses. Now, this is a temporary setup while I catch up with the demand I talked about earlier. Eventually, it's going to go back in the box as a backup and go over here in the garage. We'll move some of this other stuff out of here and store it in the garage. So. All right, so we got our print bed installed. It's all heated up. We have the nozzle heated up. So now it's time to calibrate our printer, our zero Z point. We'll do printer calibration, and what it's going to do is it's going to lower this down to find the 0 point for the bed after it moves the printhead over to 0. It's going to move this up very close to the printhead, move the printhead over. This is already down at 0, pretty much. Yeah, so it's going to bring it back up. Maybe it doesn't go. I think maybe it doesn't go to 0. Yeah. Anyway, so then we're going to be ready with our piece of cardboard, our index card, to get in between the print head and the print bed, so that we measure the tolerance there. They do give you this plastic one to do it, but since your nozzle is 200 plus degrees C, it just melts. This is somewhat resistant, presumably, but just put a little divot inside your. So I never use this. I found it more consistent to use an index. You can buy these by the dozens, by the hundreds, and they're super cheap, and they're very consistent thickness, so, at least in my experience. As long as you buy the same brand. So if you buy 100 index cards, that'll last you for your whole printing life, probably. Now on the other printer, it's going to flip out its little touch sensor. On the other printer, it would not put it out perpendicularly, but this one seems to be very perpendicular, so this one I won't have to mess with it as much as the other one, which is nice. So I put our piece of index card in between the nozzle and the print bed, and then we start moving the print bed up toward the nozzle. The other printer, 1.7 is what I use, but I think that's too loose on this one. So this is completely loose still, so let's try maybe 1.9. So I'm putting some good, nice, even resistance here. So what I found is you want to have this not be super tight up here, because my experience, when you actually do the leveling, and the last step of leveling is put the nozzle right on the print bed 0 point, where you want to have a piece of your index card in between that. It's a little bit tighter when you actually do the leveling, so a little bit looser up here is better. You don't want this overly close on this end. You want to leave it just below when it's really locked in there. All right, so now we're going to level it, and I'll just wait till this. I've shown this before, so it gets the three points underneath or above the adjustment screws, and just adjust these. So I'm not going to show leveling again. I've shown that before. But the good news is, once we do that, this printer is all ready to start printing tomorrow. All right, we're in full production mode. This is the original Guider 2, and this is our backup Guider 2. This in full production too. So these things are selling like hotcakes. So 2 machines going at once. I would say it's more than twice as much work. You have to coordinate the schedules of printing. You're printing exactly the same thing on both. You can synchronize it more, but I have it pretty well synchronized, but there's some cases we only have an hour in between doing things instead of 2+ hours like I usually do with only one printer. So that's kind of annoying, but I'm making hay while the sun shines. So. Anyway, it is possible to run 2 printers at once. I'm sure you already knew that.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.